You catch me by surprise! Welcome to Austin's beloved Patty Logan Inn, the golden age of screw-ups! You catch me by surprise! Welcome to Austin's beloved Patty Logan Inn, the golden age of screw-ups!
Hello, thank you for watching. It's November 1st, 2007, and you're watching The Golden Age of Screw-Ups! Yes. I came across an interesting website where a brave soul is trying to list all the Bush scandals. Hi, it's the Golden Age of Screw-Ups and Scandals and the whole bit. And there was a guy named Hugh on the web. And there's his website. He is a brave man. Or perhaps he's using serially linked supercomputers. Because I swear to God, only serially linked supercomputers could somehow count the number of wounds those bloody Republican traitors have inflicted on America. Oh, it would take serially linked supercomputers indeed. It would take serially linked supercomputers to compute even a fraction of the wounds those Republican traitors have inflicted on America. They must all burn in hell. 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 All burn in hell. All burn in hell. All burn in hell. Now back to Paris. All burn in hell. All burn in hell. Oh, burning hell! Oh, burning hell! Oh, burning hell! Oh, burning hell! Mr. Logan is underlining his point that Republicans have inflicted so many wounds on America, that they will all burn in hell, 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 all burn in hell. And I say that with love. I tell you, when I think about all the treacherous things the Republican Party has done to hurt America, you know. Well, one thing that cheers me up in the mess we're in, it's November 1st, 2007, and we can probably all agree, probably everyone across the political spectrum can agree that we are in terrible shape. Oh, and I guess it's unfortunately the unfortunate task of the political right in the U.S. and its lapdog media. Oh, it is going to be their difficult task to try to disconnect the utter mess we're in from the fact that the right was in control, you know, from 2000 to 2006. That's why I like to emphasize it. I like to emphasize what is probably pretty clear to everyone, and that the right is just going to have to try to backpedal from the pretty obvious fact that they had their shot, baby. The right had their shot. I mean, what more do you want? All they could do was damage the country, you know, the golden age. You can choose among screw-ups. Take a minute to imagine if any Democratic president had screwed up like that. If any Democratic president, well, had screwed up like this. United States is now the world's largest net debtor country. Thank you, Republicans. Hey, in exchange for an air base in Uzbekistan, George W. Bush gave $500 million to a dictator who boils his enemies alive. Good work, big guy. Hey, corporate taxes have dropped 26%, while taxes for average Americans have increased 13%. Since 1999, there's been a 22% increase in U.S. households in which there was hunger due to poverty during the year. Hunger due to poverty during the year. Hunger due to poverty during the year.
Let's say it all together. Since 1999, there has been a 22% increase in households in which there was hunger due to poverty during the year. I said hunger due to poverty during the year.
The screw-ups go on forever. It was, my friends, the golden age of screw-ups. Consider this. From 1979 until now, the richest 1% in the country have seen their wages increase by 150%. Unconscionable. While those of us in the bottom 20% are making $100 less per year. Than at the dawn of the Reagan era. According to the General Accounting Office, those who earn less than $25,000 a year have seen their IRS audits double. Yeah, the poor people's IRS audits have doubled, while those earning over $100,000, guess, those earning over $100,000 a year have seen their audits drop by 25%. Okay, so we know who the Republicans are batting for, don't we? And it amounts to just one screw-up after another, you see. 2,365,000 jobs have been lost in the private sector since Bush took office. 2.7 million jobs have been lost since the first tax cut. There's just no two ways about it. It's been a catastrophe for America. It was, in fact, the golden age. Ooh, the golden age of screw-ups, you know, screw-ups that will live in history, screw-ups that will make it to the bloody Guinness Book of World Records, screw-ups that will impress the intelligent races of other planets, screw-ups that will impress any intelligent life forms that may contact Earth. You know, if intelligent aliens contact the Earth, they will probably say to us, hey, what's with the Republicans? Hey, why have you Earthlings tolerated Republicans for so long?
This is the leader of the aliens. Excuse me. This is the leader of the aliens. Could you please tell me why you Earthlings have tolerated those awful Republicans for so goddamn long? Not to give you a hard time here, we mean no harm to your planet.
We mean no harm to your planet. You're obviously screwing things up yourselves. Don't you people listen to Al Gore? Hey, excuse me, you got a sane guy there. His name is Al Gore. Hi.
We couldn't help but notice you've got one sane guy there. Al Gore, how is it that he's not president? What's the deal? Why have you not put the Republicans in jail by now, you stupid Earthlings? You stupid Earthlings! You must immediately put all Republicans in jail! We were monitoring your planet, and we could not help but notice that it was the golden age of screw-ups while they were in power. Hey, Earthlings, you want screw-ups? Check it out!
President George W. Bush has the worst job creation record of any president since Herbert Hoover. Under George W. Bush, manufacturing employment has reached the lowest level in 55 years. Republicans have presided over the greatest decline in median household income in American history.
Wow, what a lot of screw-ups! Oh, now back to Perry.
Whoa, that was the aliens delineating Republican screw-ups. It was the golden age of screw-ups.
Hey, and scandals? The Bush administration has presided over more scandals even than the Reagan administration. Hey, stop laughing. Stop laughing. Didn't you know that Ronald Death Squad Reagan, don't you know? Didn't you know that Ronald Death Squad Reagan, don't you know, was the most corrupt administration in U.S. history? History lesson the right doesn't want you to hear. This is Sparky with a history lesson the right doesn't want you to know. You can measure the corruption of a presidential administration by counting the total number of convictions and forced resignations within that administration. Think about that. Think about that. That's a fairly objective measure. If you add up the total number of convictions and forced resignations in a presidential administration, you get a fairly objective indication of how corrupt they were. Pretty cool, huh? Hey, that's pretty cool. And I'm here to tell you that Ronald Death Squad Reagan accumulated more convictions and forced resignations by far than any presidential administration before them. It was Ronald Reagan's administration, my friends. It was the most corrupt administration in American history. Wow! Okay, now back to Perry.
Hey, thank you, Sparky.
Now here's a really funny thing. Ha ha ha! A really funny thing. Ha ha ha!
Here's a funny thing. The much maligned Clinton administration had fewer convictions and forced resignations during their 8 years, fewer than any two-term administration of the 20th century. That's right. In fact, the Clinton administration, by this fairly objective measure, I'm sorry, it's a fairly objective measure of who's really corrupt. And it turns out that the Clinton administration, with all that scrutiny, with all that incredible scrutiny, all those accusations, and the whole right-wing slime machine working away, still wound up the cleanest two-term administration since Teddy Roosevelt. Whoa, that's right. And now back to Teddy. Check this out. It's not even logical to believe anything bad about Democrats anymore. No, stop laughing, Lou. No, I'm not crazy. It's just that the right-wing slime machine is so all-pervasive, they are so willing to spread bad news about Democrats, whether it's true or not, and the history proves it's been pretty well documented they make stuff up. People have confessed, let's put it this way, people have confessed to being hired by Republicans to write bogus articles. This was very big during the Clinton administration, when you'd have to say the Republican disinformation machine went into overdrive. The Republican disinformation machine has it's locked in overdrive. They can spread any rumor about a Democrat around the globe in minutes. Whether it's true or not, it's mostly not. Now, if you get on the internet, here's the cool thing about the internet, is that the internet will post debunkings of right-wing talking points. The internet will post debunkings of Republican talking points, sometimes within minutes. It's really true. I'm glad the Republican Congress didn't have a chance to screw up the internet, huh? Yeah. Let me tell you, if somehow some miracle occurs, or if the Republicans prove able to hack another election and they regain power, you can pretty well kiss goodbye to the internet. Mr. Logan is making the melancholy point that should the Republicans hack the elections again and regain power, you can pretty well kiss goodbye to the internet. And now, Austin's beloved Perry Logan sings Kiss Goodbye to the Internet. My friend, we can kiss goodbye to the internet. We can pretty well kiss goodbye to the internet if something weird happens and the Republicans regain control. You know, like everybody else, I'm scared to death that it could happen. In the Wall Street Journal, they were saying that the Republican Party was a picture of bankruptcy and organizational disrepair. Hallelujah. Is that a silver lining or what? I think it's safe to say we all were shocked and stunned at just how low the country was brought. You know, from 2000 to 2006. Think about how low the country was brought. You know, what's your favorite bummer? What's your favorite Republican bummer? Yeah, because it was the golden age of screw-ups. There is no other way to describe it. What's the worst thing? Who can say? Who can say we went from peace to war? We went from surplus to deficit. We went from crime going down to crime going up. We went from infant mortality rate going down to infant mortality rate going up. It goes on and on. It's November 1st, 2007. The Republican Party is in a state of complete bankruptcy and organizational disrepair. Republicans are so depressed. Republicans are so depressed. Republicans are so depressed. Let's put it this way. Republicans are so depressed. So depressed, so depressed. Republicans are so depressed, you see, because everything they did went wrong. The Bush administration completely failed to manage the first large-scale emergency since 9/11. The Bush administration let 9/11 happen through sheer incompetence. The Bush administration completely failed to manage the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina. The Republican Party has totally failed in the area of fiscal management. In less than 5 years, these borrow and spend thrifts have nearly doubled our national debt to a stunning $8.2 trillion. The Republican administration has screwed up the Medicare program. The Republican administration has screwed up Katrina relief. The Republican administration has screwed up in Afghanistan. The Iraqi war, what can I say? Biggest screw up ever, right? Iraqi war, biggest screw up ever. The American healthcare system under the Republicans is now the 37th in the world, just ahead of Cuba. Poverty is up nearly 50% since this president took office. Somewhere between 5 and 10 million Americans have lost their health insurance. Income inequality is the highest since the 1920s. Real median income has declined for 5 consecutive years, the longest such streak since the Great Depression. And the Bush budget cuts have left Americans with the most threadbare social safety net since that dreadful era. Almost 30% of American manufacturing jobs have been lost over these last 5 years. Manufacturing now accounts for less than 13% of our gross national product. Republicans are walking around with their chins on the ground. Have you seen, my friends, that Republicans are walking around with their chins on the ground? If you look around, you can see Republicans walking around with their chins dragging on the ground. Republicans are walking around with their chins dragging on the ground. They're so depressed. They're so depressed. They're so depressed. Okay, now back to Perry. You're watching the golden age of screw-ups. Do not panic. Hey, a lot's been happening. I needed to catch you up on a couple things. There's a guy named Hugh who, using serially linked supercomputers, has made an effort to list all the Bush scandals and screw-ups. Now, of course, this is only what we know. It boggles the mind. It just like totally boggles the mind, okay? Now check this out. Welcome to the Vedic Garden. Here in the Vedic Garden, Perry has asked me to tell you that poverty is up by nearly 50% since this president took office. Meditate on the beauty of the garden and the magical water wall, and reflect upon the fact that almost 30% of American manufacturing jobs have been lost over these past 5 years. While our net foreign indebtedness took over 200 years to reach $1 trillion, since 2001, it has somehow increased by another $3 trillion. While just 5 years ago, our national debt stood at just over $5 trillion. Now it stands at over $8 trillion. The trade deficit has exploded to over $800 billion per year. And the United States is having to borrow more than $2 billion per day to pay for our profligacy. Now back to Perry Logan's secret lair. Hi, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that trip to the beautiful Vedic Gardens. All right. Now, I hope you enjoyed that little trip there and, you know, looking at some more screw-ups from the Golden Age. Screw-ups. My friend, in the Akashic Records, George W. Bush's administration is listed as the Golden Age of Screw-Ups.